Welcome back to Vox Terra, aka Hidden Agendas. And remember, I'm transitioning towards podcast-oriented format, hence you'll be seeing less of me in the shows if you're watching on YouTube. Spring, now we're just getting into summer of 2024. Amazing, historic heat waves, deadly, record-breaking heat in so many parts of the planet. Some headlines that jump out at me, just based on memory: howler monkeys falling dead from the trees in Mexico. Hundreds of dead pilgrims at the Hajj in Saudi Arabia. Parts of Pakistan heat reaching 125 degrees Fahrenheit. And 100 million under a heat advisory in North America, the US of A. But not just that, we've had record ocean heat, marine heat waves, and coral bleaching. And accompanied with this heat is dead crops and dead people, livestock dead, mango harvests dead, and part of that whole heating planet is drowned crops. Yet when our media covers these heat waves or other extreme weather, it's generally just isolated events. Wow, that's weird, a heat wave, what's going on here? So it's hard for the public to see the big picture. And rather than talk about climate change, they tend to focus on or even dismiss these extreme events, in my opinion, by describing the proximate meteorological cause, using a big word to sort of pacify the public. In Estados Unidos, United States, the big word now is heat dome. There's a heat dome, everybody. Move on, nothing to see here, it's a heat dome. Years back, I remember in the 90s, El Nino. But this leaves out the whole globe is getting hotter. That's why they used to call it global warming. And that heat is about 2 Fahrenheit hotter since the start of the Industrial Revolution, citing you-know-who, if you're listening to my show before, NASA. And because of all these greenhouse gases being added by the burning of fossil fuels, that's why they used to call it the man-made greenhouse effect. Now there is simply less cold to go around, and we are entering the era of feedback loops, meaning Mother Nature is like saying, hey, you guys really want to heat this place up? Let me join in. One of those biggest, scariest feedback loops is loss of Arctic ice. As that Arctic ice, we lose it, we lose the reflector. More heat gets absorbed, we lose more ice, losing more reflector. And that's not the only one. Check out my show on feedback loops. Well, events like heat waves, heat domes, intense rains, prolonged droughts, and wildfire are all on an upward trend, naturally due to the heat. And that too should be cited by the media when they cover these events. For example, I've cited you in the past to the EPA's climate change indicators. And when the media does talk about climate change, and a lot of you wipe your brow and say, finally, thank you God, they're finally mentioning this, most of those media outlets tend to leave out the fossil fuel industry driver behind this. And here I've cited you to NASA scientist Peter Kalmus, who's been going out protesting on his own, saying our planet is not simply heating, it is being heated by the burning of fossil fuels. And to paraphrase him, any climate action that does not address that does not radically want to scale away from the burning of fossil fuels is a distraction. Another cover for that industry. An industry that is oh so powerful within our politics and our media, and for many of us, our thinking. And keep in mind, we are not at this point of climate tipping by accident. No, my friends, I can remember to my childhood when Jimmy Carter put solar panels on the White House and Ronald Reagan came in and took them down. So many solutions, just using less stuff. Buildings that employ natural cooling methods. Think about those ancient adobe pueblos and how they just vent the air naturally with those high windows and those thick walls made from natural materials. Less shipping, more local production, local agriculture. Renewable energy, solar, wind, geothermal, responsible hydro. While you can still use hydro with this crazy climate, Walk or bike or smaller vehicles that run on electric. Geothermal heat pumps to heat and cool the home. Lean into nature. You ever wear a silk shirt? Guess what? It's more comfortable than wearing no shirt in the heat. And it'll keep the mosquitoes off of you too. Not just to mention protect you from sunburn without needing chemical-based sunscreens. There are two pathways to get there, but the first requires the public to galvanize on the issue, to understand what we have signed up for with this economy based on throwing stuff out and making things, selling things, buying things, need it or don't, that does not pay the price of the pollution it is producing. Well, way one is you could try to fix capitalism directly by factoring in the cost of pollution into the product. Right now, it is not. That cheap natural gas ain't so cheap, my friend. Fracking chemicals contaminating the water, putting who knows what in there, causing all kinds of weird sicknesses and cancers. Plus the heat-trapping greenhouse gases. Ditto for gasoline. You burn that stuff, you breathe it in, you're inhaling particulate matters that have all kinds of detrimental effects on the body. Known carcinogens in there like benzene. And greenhouse or heat-trapping gases. Or you can sort of skip that step and go towards a rationally based public sector economy. Research, debate, decide. But the problem is we have no separation of capitalism and state. So everything is influenced by the dominant industries, the thinking, the media, the politics. Well, I hope you found this really helpful. These events are not in isolation. They are part of a trend of a planet that is being heated by the excessive burning of fossil fuels, and now the feedback loops are kicking in. We need not only personal solutions to set the good example, but we need political and policy solutions, and people need to speak up. Thank you to my two supporters at Patreon, Bella Lugrissi and Environmental Coffee House. This show over the past 5 years has been a heck of a lot of work and very time consuming, so thank you for helping keep me going. Thank you to everyone who has posted a comment, negative or positive, but I prefer if you're doing negative, don't toss in insults and be a weirdo in a bad way. Weirdo in a good way is fine. Please subscribe, click that notification bell, and as always, until next time, peace be with you.